Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Haribol, Haribol. Today is the 2nd of February 2024, Friday, and we're speaking out of Godrum Dweep, Jaiva Dharna, 9th chapter. So we'll have a short kirtan and then we'll begin our reading. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Radhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Danandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Hare Oh Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Oh Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Oh Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Oh Radhe 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 Jai Shri Guru Garanga Ganhabika Girihari Radha Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Vrishabhananandini Vajeshwari Radharani ki Jai, Nityananda Rai ki Jai, Satchinandana Gaura Hari ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Surabhi Kunj ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Shishimat Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Shishimat Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gauri Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Baladev Vidyabhushan Gaudi Vedanta Acharya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamanand Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Jibata Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Swarab Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parsad Ki Jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikha Hose Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Antadweep Mayapur Simantadweep Gaudam Dweep Madhya Dweep Kola Dweep Ritudweep Janadweep Modam Dweep Rudradweep Atmaka Navadweep Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadasa Varmatmika Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kun Shamakun Ganga Jamuna Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Shrimati Yogamaya Punamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Gopishwa Mahadev Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Ketra Mandal Ki Jai. Sadhava Vigna Vanasakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Chari Dham Ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Chari Acharya Ki Jai. Akara Mataraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Devananda Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Anant Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Priya Surupe Dayata Surupe Prema Surupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Babhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swabilasa Rupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurana Varatino Kalo Samarpaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundaratu Dikatamba Satipita Sada Hridare Kandare Swadatu Vasachinandanaha Yam Pravajantamanapetyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Achuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Taravo Pinidustam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktiya Vihina Aparara Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadita Rangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Paradram Tato Mamanasti Katyena Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dhanava pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila, Pravishta Om, Asto Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm also offering millions and millions of Dhanava pranams unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Lila, Pravishta Om, Asto Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to our most illustrious Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate, and all our divine Rupanuga Guru Vargya, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhamevacha, Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So coming to our subject matter of Jaiva Dharma, and again glorifying Jaiva Dharma through the words of the Falshruti that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so kind to give us. He made such a magnificent publication of this Jaiva Dharma, including all prayers, everything. So much is there. So we've added a glossary to it, etc., which is an extensive glossary, a good comprehensive index. So everything is here, a single compendium. So verse 6 today on page 830. Jade Dvaita Jnana Hoya Chita Upadaya Krishna Bhakti Chiradina Upaya Upai. Such knowledge that is solely related to the duality of this dull material world is fit to be rejected. Why should we indulge ourselves in taking? It's called empiric knowledge, this knowledge from this world. We have nothing really to gain from knowledge of this world, yet it can captivate the mind and consciousness, and probably has done in millions of lifetimes. What is this? What is that? What is this object, that object? How does this? These are all bautik gyan, knowledge of the material world. But this granta is only concerned with knowledge of transcendence. That's a very exciting prospect, you know. It's nothing like the dullness of this material world. Whereas transcendental knowledge of the divine duality within the spiritual world, Chit Jagat, should be accepted forever within one's heart, both as the upaya, means of attainment, and the upaye, the goal worthy of attainment. That's our desire to achieve that place, and we want to be in that place. It's the goal, and it's the end of the goal. Our goal is to go in that direction, and our goal is to actually immerse ourselves in that kingdom of Vrindavan Dham, principally, where Brajendranandan, Shyam Sundar, and all the gopis are relishing transcendental, ecstatic relationships that we have been gifted by Mahaprabhu the ability to serve. We are looking to serve that conception. We can't be Sakis. We have no adhikar to be a Saki. Mahaprabhu has not come to give Saki Bhav. Who were the two Sakis with Mahaprabhu? That was Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar. They didn't begin their own movements and start giving Saki Bhav. To have the greed for a Saki, because all these identities must have the vital ingredient of greed, must be there. Then who is that Lobi? Who is that person who has the greed that you're going to get Saki Bhav from? Who is in this world? There aren't any. It's not here. I can remember when I was a younger devotee reading the pastimes of Ras Leela, thinking, oh yes, I want to be a Saki, dancing in Ras Leela. But that position, it's called Sambhog Ichamai. Sambhog means relationship. You have the adhikar to have a direct relationship with Krishna. Those are the Nitya Siddha Parikars. They are coming directly from Sri Radhika, her Kaya Vyuha, directly to serve Brajendranandan in that Ras Leela pastime. And the manjaris are also coming from Sri Radhika. But this manjari bhav is the bhav that Mahaprabhu has gifted to the world. It's saying in that verse we say each day that this unnata ujvala rasam swa bhakti shriyam, this unnata ujvala, this is going to be, it is the highest conception of love and affection between Krishna and the gopis. Unnata means topmost, ujvala, shining brilliantly. That's the prem that Mahaprabhu himself exclusively is going to taste. That unnata ujvala rasa is what he is going to taste. But what we can taste is service to that mood, in the mood of the manjaris. And this is what Mahaprabhu has come to gift. And who are the manjaris? Rupa Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, Vilasa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Rasa Manjari. All of the manjaris in our line, they have all come to gift. They haven't come to gift Saki Bhav because they're not Sakis. They're manjaris. So how can they gift Saki Bhav? So how can anyone hold their head up and say, yes, I have Saki Bhav? From who did you get your... You have to receive the seed of that Bhav from the person who's carrying that Bhav. So this current coming from Rupa Goswami all the way down to now, our line is only filled with manjaris, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kamala Manjari, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, 9 Mani Manjari. Srila Gokishore Das Babaji, uh, some call him Kasturi Manjari, but there's another name. Guna Manjari, Gokishore Das Babaji. So all the different, they're all Manjaris. So we should understand what is Manjari Bhav. And it's not Sambhog. Ichamai means the desire to have relationship. Icha. Icha means desire. Ichamai, desire to have relationship. We are tad bhav ichamai. We have the ability through the gift and mercy of Mahaprabhu and through his parikas to serve Radhika. And in that mood of service to Radhika, what will awaken is the natural propensity. It's called bhavolas, that mood of just wanting to please Radhika alone. And then we become tad atma. What does tad atma mean? It means when you put the iron in the fire. And yes, the fire, the iron becomes one with the fire, right? It's hot, it smokes, it's red. It's exactly like the fire. As long as it's in the fire, when you take it out, it starts to lose that fiery component. And also, if you are serving your Swamini, you will receive exactly the same moods that she is experiencing. You will become tad atmic. It's called tad bhav ichamai. And if we have this desire to become the maidservants of Sri Radhika, Radha Dasyam, this is the highest conception in this age. And we can achieve it by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, and first of all, by the gift that he has given by Harinam, and the mercy of his parikas, the mercy of those Rasik Vaishnavas in the line from Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. We can receive that understanding, that gift. Tat bhav ichamai. So this is what this book is concerned with, not mundane matters. Why should we confuse? Why should we be distracted by mundane considerations? So remember these two words, they're very powerful. Sambhog ichamai. There's 5 types of sakis. There's Saki, then there's Nitya Saki and Prem Saki. And then there's Priya Saki and Priyanam Saki. 5 types of Saki. The first Saki and the last 2 Sakis, Saki, Priyanam, and Nam Saki, they are Sambhogi Ichamai. And the 2 in the middle, the Pran Saki and the Nitya Saki, they are Tat Bhav Ichamai. They are the Manjaris. They are younger, 12, 13 years old, like that. So there's the Astasakis, they're the Priyanam Sakis. Then there's the ones below them, the Priya Sakis. And then there's the Sakis, Sakis like Danishta Saki. These are different Sakis, but there's 5 principal groups.
You mentioned other term, Tata Dichamai, Bhava Chamai, and another term, Bhavara.
Sambhogishamai. Oh,
No, no,
Bhavolas.
Bhavalas.
Bhavolas is that mood that is there within the heart of the Manjari that only sees the satisfaction of Radhika as her life goal. That Bhav Olas. Olas means enthusiasm for that bhav to please Sri Radhika. And that is a natural bhav. That's the stai bhav of the Manjaris. It's their stai bhav. They have that stai bhav to just serve Sri Radhika. And they love Krishna because Radhika loves Krishna. And Krishna loves Radhika. But Krishna is not as prominent in
But
their,
they are in Madhurya Rasa, right?
all in Madhurya Ras.
Okay. So Madhurya Rasa in relation to Krishna. No?
When you say Madhurya Ras has divisions. We come from the Aishwarya Ras into Madhurya Ras. Even Ayodhya is considered Madhurya Ras. So when specifically what you mean now is not Madhurya, you mean Shringara Ras.
Yeah, yeah. I mentioned that.
Shringara Ras is the relationship directly between the gopis and Krishna. So Shringara Ras, in Shringara Ras what?
So, but Manjaris, what is their rasa?
Ujva, this Bhavolas Ras, this mood of wanting just to please Radhika. That's the Staibhav of the Manjaris. only to please Radhika, day and night. They don't even sleep, my Gurudev says. They don't even sleep. They just want to serve and bring satisfaction. And they actually have even more intimate relationships with Radha and Krishna than the Sakis do. Lalita and Vishaka, they will inquire from the Manjaris, can we come into the Kunj now? And it's the Manjaris who will check and see if it's okay for them to come in or not. The Manjaris can go in anytime, even sometimes in their conjugal activities. Radha and Krishna's hair gets tangled up. The jewelry, the earrings maybe get caught in the hair. The Manjaris can see and they can come in and they can untangle the hair. They're like the limbs of Sri Radhika. If she wants to slap them, she can. If she wants to, she can do anything. They're like hers. They are hers. And they feel themselves to be hers. Nothing except her. Whatever is for her pleasure. That is the Manjari. And this, amazingly, in this darkest of Kali Yugas, is what Mahaprabhu has come to gift the sadhaks of this age with. It's phenomenal when you consider the history of Vaishnavism or the history of Krishna's appearances, in that we have 14 Manus in the day of Lord Brahma, and we have Swayambhuva Manu, etc., in the beginning, and all the different Varahadev, and then we have Korma, Matsya, initially, we have Parashuram, and Shringadev. We have so many incarnations, and we have one incarnation of Krishna in the seventh Manvantara, in the 28th Dwapara Yuga, appears Brajendranandan Sri Krishna, apparently just to yada hi dharmasya, just to relieve the earth of the warring armies. But that wasn't his principal focus. His principal intention was to have his Leelas in Vrindavan. So he is Leela Purushottam. And then immediately after Krishna, 5,000 years later, because you're looking at 4,320,000,000 years. That makes 14 Manus. So 5,000 years is nothing. It's just like not even a breath. And that's how long ago Krishna was. And then Mahaprabhu comes to tell us who was Krishna. So this is remarkable historically. What to speak of esoterically, actually getting that mood to serve just Sri Radhika, because that's the only path, the bona fide path. If you meet someone in Radhakund, they say, oh yes, I have Sakibar. Well, who did you get your Sakibar from? Who's the Sakibar, has Saki, that you've received that from? Where is your line? Everything has to have the authentic line. If it doesn't have the line, then you can just Hare Krishna, see you later. This is Kali Yuga. It's filled with a jumble of different ideas and conceptions. Everyone's very greedy to be happy because the suffering is so intense. And people might go really a lazy way, just running for the highest conception without properly studying the Shastra. Shastra, the platform, has to be there. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, these have to be there, the foundation. If that's not there solid, you'll just speculate with other types of Shastras, looking for the bhav, looking for the bhav. But the bhav doesn't come from books. It comes from the mercy of that person who is realized in all those Shastras. It only comes from the mercy of Guru. It's the avaroha panta, the descending current. You can't climb up some ladder and expect to enter bhav bhakti. It's not like that at all. If you try to define all the different stages and you just discuss all these things, ruchi, asakti, bhav, etc., and you get some familiarity with the terminologies, that's not going to give you entrance into bhav bhakti. The only thing that will give you entrance into bhav bhakti is through the mercy of someone who is already in bhav bhakti. You cannot get it from any other way. And if you think you've got it, you've probably been cheated. And it's probably not the real thing. It can only come in the line. All Shastra concurs. It's only in that line. Jiva kabu jadanai, hari kabu nai, hari saha jiva chintya beta beta mai. The jiva is not a product of dull matter, nor is he Kevaladvaita, absolutely one in all ways with Sri Hari. So it's interesting. It's like two aspects of the jiva. The jiva thinks that he's the material body because he wants to enjoy matter, so he's marginal nature. But he's also capable, because he's Satchidananda, his spirit, capable of actually appreciating the real spiritual truth and connecting with absolute reality, because that's his nature. So we're in this middle part, we're in this marginal energy. We're neither Keval Advaita nor are we dull matter. We're between the two. It's a tricky situation for the jiva. He becomes very confused and bewildered. Actually, it's the truth. The jiva is inconceivably different and non-different from Hari. Different and non-different. How are you going to reconcile that? One minute you'll feel like God, the next minute you'll feel like a worm in stool. How am I going to oscillate between these two? You will find that road of being able to actually and what is the key to recognizing this? It's humility. Because when you realize your God-given potency, so to speak, unless there's a quantity of humility there, you won't be able to function in the world. If all these truths come in your heart and you realize your transcendental nature, unless you're fully submissive to the supreme truth in all abject humility, you're not going to be able to remain there for more than a moment. You will have to land squarely back here. So we talked the other day in the 8th chapter, this distinction of truth. Then there was humility. Then what was in the middle? Forgiveness.
Forgiveness,
And then
compassion.
compassion at the end. These four truths, beautiful, like a locket, a necklace. So many truths in Jaiva Dharma. It's packed with truths. Deha kapa jiva nai, dara bhogya nai, dasa bhogya jiva Krishna Prabhu bhakta hai. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva, and this earth is not the jiva to exploit and enjoy. The jiva's swarup is Krishna Das, and thus he is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, whereas Sri Krishna's swarup is Prabhu, master and bhakta, enjoyer. The pleasure of service to Krishna, even Advaita Acharya, who is Mahavishnu himself. He's Mahavishnu himself. He manifests all the material worlds, Advaita Acharya, and then he himself comes into the material world to show us the path of bhakti. How kind is he? He makes all the worlds, then he comes into the worlds as Advaita Acharya. Acharya means teacher. Advaita, non-different, not dual. He's one. He's Mahavishnu. And he is that personality of Godhead. He's Vishnu, Mahavishnu himself. And yet he serves Mahaprabhu in great ecstasy. And then he feels that Mahaprabhu is cheating him by serving him because he's a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, who is the grand spiritual master of Mahaprabhu. So this is beautiful to appreciate. And Nityananda, he's also he's Sankarshan, he's Baladev, he's Mool Sankarshan. He's the first manifestation from Krishna. And yet he comes to serve and demonstrate his service to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu comes to serve Sri Radhika. He takes her mood and complexion to serve her in this world and to serve the conditioned souls, to give them this joy of Nitya Prem, this opportunity, Swa Bhakti Shriyam. So all is empowered by service, a mood of service. All. So even if we realize that God particle we can say within us, still the activity of that particle is only made of love, but love is a verb to love. So the activity of love involves service. If there's no service, there's no love, right? You serve your wife. That's because of affection. She serves you. That's because of affection. If you didn't have affection, you wouldn't serve each other. Correct? So service is the symptom of love. The same in the supreme reality. Jaiva Dharma nahi ache, Jaya Dharma kata, nahi ache Jiva Gyan Maya Vada Prata. This book, entitled Jaiva Dharma, neither discusses matters related to the dead material body, nor does it propose the Mayavad doctrine of the jiva's oneness with Brahm. So, again, the same as he said previously. Jiva Nitya Dharma Bhakti Tahe Jadanai Shuddha Jiva Prema Seva Phala Payatai. The jiva's Nitya Dharma is bhakti, devoid of material motivation. The jiva purified by seva attains the fruit of that seva in the form of prem. So, Falshruti ki jai. So many truths. I mean, every day we're speaking these Falshruti prayers, and every day so many different meanings we can perceive through here. Now we come to page 198. Now, this is principally going to be a discussion between what is a Shakta. A Shakta worships only Shakti. How can there just be energy without the energetic source? Have you got any experience of light that doesn't have a source? Is there any such thing? Tell me. We have the sunlight, we have the moonlight, we have the electric light, we have the firelight. There's always a source to every form of light, isn't there? That's the Shaktiman. There must be an origin to Shakti. That's Krishna. But the Shakta, he just worships the Shakti alone. And he believes that he will become that Shakti. It's really confusing. But this is Digambar. Digambar, that the name I was reading in the notes, it signifies the directions. Digambar means all the directions. So the 10 directions, up and down, northeast, south, and west, and in between. So 8 directions plus up and down is 10. So now Digambar has come in a, it's a mix here. We've got the philosophy coming in, and we've got the emotional reaction that Advaita Babaji is going to respond to his old friend, his childhood friend. We saw the exchange when Digambar first arrived. He embraced him. He was so happy to see him, genuinely happy to see his old friend. They were very happy to. So, how are they going to maintain cordial relationships when their philosophy is so far apart now? This is part of the dynamic that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to bring out here. So, the last place we came to was that Advaita is asking about Mother Nishtarini. Is Mother Nishtarini? Mother Nishtarini basically is Durgama. This is who she is, and who he considers Shakti. They are Shaktas. And the Shaktas, it's described, are like the material scientists. They're basically dealing with the commodities of this world. They're not able to connect with that transcendental world. They're stuck in this world. Is Mother Nistarini a conscious entity or inert matter? Digambar. She is consciousness personified, and she possesses independent will. It is by her desire alone that spirit is created. Advaita. What is Purush and what is Prakriti? He's trying to bring him out the distinction between Shakti and Shaktiman. Purush is Krishna. What is that male source? Prakriti is the feminine. So what are these distinctions here? Digambar. Vaishnavas engage only in bhajan. They have no knowledge of fundamental philosophical truths. Although Purush and Prakriti manifest as two phenomena, they are actually one. Well, that's not a fact, but anyway. Like the two halves of a chickpea. If you take the outer skin off the chickpea, there are two halves, but if the outer skin remains, there is one chickpea. Purush is conscious, and Prakriti is inert. When the conscious and the inert merge into one undifferentiated substance, it is known as Brahm. That's the all-pervasive one. So try to get a picture of what he's saying. It's completely another philosophy. Advaita, is your mother Prakriti, female, or Purush, male? He's asking the same question again. He wants a statement. He wants to make Digambar think about this. That's why he's asking. Digambar, sometimes she is female and sometimes she is male. Advaita, so if Parush and Prakriti are like the two halves of a chickpea covered by a skin, which is the mother and which is the father? Let's have some sense here. He's trying to make him, what are you talking about? You're just talking blah, 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 like they just throw a lot of words at you. Advaita is a schooled Vaishnava scholar. He wants truth. Digambar, are you making philosophical inquiries? Excellent. We are well acquainted with the truth. The fact is that the mother is Prakriti, matter, and the father is Chaitanya, consciousness. Advaita, and who are you? So if he's mentioned the material energy, he's mentioned the Vastu, these are the three Vastus, then what is the nature of the Jiva in connection here? He wants Digambar to think. I am spirit and mother is matter. Oh. When I am bound, she is mother. When I become liberated, she will be my wife.
Oh, what is that? Oh no, you missed Pasha Bado.
Sorry, I did. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And who are you? Digambar. Pasha Bado, Bhave Jiva, Pashu Mukta, Sada Shiva. When one is bound by the ropes of Maya, one is a Jiva. And when one is released from these bonds, one is Lord Sada Shiva. Advaita. So are you spirit or matter? Digambar. I am spirit, and mother is matter. When I am bound, she is mother. When I become liberated, she will be my wife.
Interesting.
We can laugh, and but they really take this to heart and believe this. They've been brought up.
Very interesting theory.
Yes, don't get too interested in it. Yeah, but Advaita will purify it completely. Oh, splendid! Now the whole truth is exposed without any doubt. The person who is your mother now will become your wife later. Where did you get such a philosophy? Digambar, brother, I am not like you, simply wandering here and there and saying Vaishnava, Vaishnava. I have acquired this knowledge by associating with innumerable perfected and liberated sannyasis, brahmacharis, and tantrics, and by studying the Tantra Shastras day and night. If you wish, I can also make you fit for understanding this knowledge. He hasn't actually said anything of knowledge yet. Advaita's already defeated him. Advaita thus thought to himself, what a ghastly misfortune. But aloud he said, very well, please explain one idea to me. What is civilization and what is material science? Prakritika Vigyan. So he's changing the subject because this is just too off the wall, what he's proposing. That she's a mother and then she's going to become his wife and then he's going to become Lord Shiva. It's just, for the Vaishnava, it's too bizarre. So let's look at another part, civilization. So we see the scientist in civilization, the materialist in civilization, and Shaktas have the same impression of civilization as Digambar does. They think they can exploit material civilization. What are they doing now? A1 is the big thing. Let's make robots to do everything, and then we'll just be freed from any type of work. We'll control more. This is the demon
They're
mentality.
manipulating anyway.
Manipulating, yes, control, control, control is the quality of a demon and engendered by fear. I said this yesterday. Digambar, civilization means to speak courteously in a cultured society, to dress oneself in a respectable and pleasing manner, and to eat and to conduct oneself in a way that is not repugnant to others. You do none of these things. Why do you say that? Digambar, you are distinctly unsociable. Yes, Vaishnavas are. They don't go to social gatherings. They're not into the social world. We know it's Maya. For you do not mingle with others. No, we don't mingle frivolously with others. We have no time. The Vaishnavas have never learned what it means to please others with sweet words. Well, that's not true. As soon as they lay eyes on anyone, they command him to chant Harinam. This is true. This is true. This is true. This is true. Why is there no other civilized discussion? Anyone who sees your dress will not be inclined to let you sit in an assembly. You wear a loincloth, a peculiar tuft of hair on your head, on the top of your head, and a garland of beads around your neck. What kind of outfit is this? And you eat only potatoes and roots. You are not at all civilized. So, this is the materialist conception of a Vaishnava. We have to appreciate the reality of this. Digambar is seeing the Vaishnavas like this. We chuckle, but they have that conception. So give them some sort of sense of worth in the sense that that's what they see, that's what they perceive. Appreciate that. Advaita Das determined that if he were to start a quarrel and Digambar went away angered, it would be a great relief. So he said, does your type of civilized living give you the opportunity to attain a higher destination in the next life? Digambar, culture does not in itself grant one a higher destination in the next life, but how can society be elevated without culture? If society, you see, there's little lines of truth within what he's saying. This is what gives the credence to the Shakti, to any religion. They've got some abas of dharma there. Something is there. And they've just conjured up some speculative arrangement with the original truth. They've speculated on that. They've taken the heart of something that is pure and they've made it impure. You understand? But how can society be elevated without culture? If society is elevated, then one can endeavor for progress in other planets. If society is elevated, then one can endeavor for progress in other planets. Oh, I see. Advaita, that means you go to other planets? Advaita, brother, I may say something if you will not become angry. Digambar, you are my childhood friend. I would give up my life for you. How can I not tolerate whatever you have to say? I am fond of courtesy. Even if I become angry, my words remain sweet. The more a man can conceal his inner feelings, the more cultured he is considered to be. It's all the antithesis of Vaishnavism. It's upside down. Advaita, human life is very short, and there are many disturbances in this brief span of life. The only duty of humanity is to worship Sri Hari with simplicity. Studying the ways of material civilization and culture is simply deceiving the soul. We've talked about this constantly in the Falshruti. All of these material dharmas are to be rejected. They all contain duplicity. They're only about this social material world. I have understood the word Shabhyat, Shabhyata, Shabhyata, civilization, is simply another name for civil deception. A human being remains simple as long as he adheres to the path of truth. When he adopts the path of dishonesty, he desires to appear civilized and to please others by sweet words. But internally, he remains addicted to deception and wicked deeds. What you describe as civilization has no good qualities, because truthfulness and simplicity are really the only good qualities. Without truthfulness and simplicity, you have nothing. It's the legs of religion of the cow that have been broken. In modern times, civilization has come to mean keeping one's depravity concealed within. The word Shabhyata literally means fitness to participate in Shabha, or a virtuous assembly. In reality, civilization that is free from sin and deception is only found among Vaishnavas. Non Vaishnavas very much appreciate civilization that is saturated with sin. The civilization that you speak of is not related to the Nitya Dharma of the Jiva. We see society. If civilization means to adorn oneself in stylish clothes to appeal to others, then prostitutes are more civilized than you are. The only requirement for clothing is that it should cover the body and be clean and free from unpleasant odor. Food is faultless when it is pure and nutritious, but you only care whether it tastes good. You don't even consider whether it is pure or not, like meat is not pure. Wine and meat are naturally impure, and a civilization based upon the consumption of such things is simply a society dedicated to sin. What passes as civilization at present is the culture of Kali Yuga. Very nicely put, just in a short way. Digambar, have you forgotten the civilization of the Muslim emperors? Just consider the manners with which people sit in the court of a Muslim emperor, how politely they speak, and with such proper etiquette. Advaita, that is only worldly conduct. How deficient is a man really if he does not abide by these external formalities? Oh, how deficient is a man really if he doesn't abide by these external formalities? Brother, you have served in the Muslim government for so long that you have become partial to that type of civilization. In reality, human life only becomes civilized when it is sinless. The so called advancement of civilization in Kali Yuga simply means an increase in sinful activity. This is nothing but hypocrisy. This is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Everywhere we see. We don't need to go into the details. Digambar, look, educated modern men have concluded that civilization means humanism, and that those who are not civilized are not human beings. To dress women attractively and thereby conceal their faults is considered to be a sign of sophistication. Advaita. Just consider whether this idea is good or bad. I perceive that those whom you call educated are merely rogues who have taken advantage of the times. Such people favor this deceitful civilization partly because of sinful impressions within their hearts and partly because they see it as an opportunity to conceal their faults. Can a wise man find happiness in such a civilization? Only vain arguments and physical intimidation can maintain veneration for a civilization of rogues. This is a civilized, everything pure has become inverted. It's all become upside down in this age of Kali. It's gone right on the top of its head. We see all the wealthy, rich, and famous people in the world today, the ones that have the spotlight in the media and so on, they all engaging in all these sinful activities. They say that look for pleasure in the world first. Don't think about God and renouncing things of this world. Get more. They advertise their flamboyant wealth and so on, try to make other people envious because they are so envious. They try to make others envious by showing you their opulent lifestyle and so on, and trying to make the oppressed, the innocent oppressed, feel envious towards them. It's the duty of the Vaishnavas to teach to the innocent not to become envious of such useless articles, such useless material wealth, completely useless. Digambar, some people say that society is advancing with the increase of knowledge in the world, and eventually it will be like heaven on earth. Okay? Advaita, that is simply fantasy. It is quite extraordinary that people have faith in this. It is even more bizarre that others have the audacity to propagate such a view without actually believing it themselves. There are two types of knowledge. Paramatic knowledge relates to eternal truth, while lokic knowledge relates to this transitory world. Paramatic knowledge does not seem to be increasing. On the contrary, in most cases, knowledge has been corrupted and deviated from its original nature. Only lokic knowledge seems to be on the increase. Does the jiva have an eternal relationship with lokic knowledge? It's a wonderful sentence. Does the jiva have an eternal relationship with matter? We hope not. When lokic gyan increases, people's minds become distracted. The more we look into these other alternatives in life, etc., we just become distracted from the origin by temporary material pursuits, and they neglect the origin of spiritual truth. I firmly believe that the more Lokik Gyan increases, the more duplicitous a civilization becomes. This is the great misfortune of the living beings. That's a beautiful explanation. The more we appear to have material developed, um, consciousness, material developed. If we read in the fifth canto, there's a chapter called The Subterranean Heavenly Planets, and they have such an opulent lifestyle. They have all kinds of elixirs that can relieve your old age pains, can rejuvenate the body, and so on. There's so much focus on this body and life, and they have tuned to such a high material sensual pleasure. These are the subterranean heavenly planets. These are below the earth, and they all feel happy in that material pleasure, but they are all terrified of the chakra of the Lord because he will annihilate them. And the light that comes in those worlds is from the nagas, from the serpents, the Kaliya nagas, their jewels in their heads. And they just spend their whole life indulging in sense gratification. And they are deprived of an opportunity to connect with anything transcendental because it's all focusing on material gain. Therefore, they are called hellish planets. They have no, but to the materialist, it sounds good. And it's as if here we are trying to replicate that. We're trying to bring those earthly, those lower subterranean planets into this world. Where do we think computers came from? Where do we think all this electronic stuff? It all came from the lower regions. It filtered through. It's nothing but demonic, ultimately. It doesn't bring happiness. These cell phones only bring torment. It seems that it steals our time. And there's an expression, our time, it seems, becomes crunched. We just don't have time for anything. It becomes sandwiched by these electronics. This is filtering through from the subterranean heavenly planets. It's coming through China first.
Brain damaging also.
Yes, brain damaging, depleting, debilitating, taking away all personal moods of relationships, etc. And everyone does it. So this age is filled with a demonic atmosphere, quarrel and hypocrisy. But the Vaishnavas, knowing about these things, should become aloof to these things and show some restraint. At least some restraint should be there in indulgence in these things. Um, that's a beautiful paragraph. This is a great misfortune for the living beings. Digamba, a misfortune? Why? Advaita, as I have said before, human life is very short. The jivas are like travelers at an inn, and they should use this brief span of life to prepare themselves for their ultimate destination. It would be sheer foolishness if travelers staying in an inn were so caught up in improving the conditions of their stay that they forgot their destination. The more one's involvement with material knowledge increases, the more one's time for spiritual matters dwindles. It's like the more you chant, the less you have to do in this world. Why? Because the less material desires you have. As you chant more, your material desires go down. Therefore, you don't have to be so active in the material world because you don't have those gross and subtle desires. You don't feel any necessity to perform various functions that you did previously. And Krishna always makes the arrangement. The more one's involvement with material knowledge increases, the more one's time for spiritual matters dwindles. I am convinced that material knowledge should be used only as much as it is needed to maintain one's livelihood. There is no necessity for excessive material knowledge, and its companion, material civilization. This is what the topic is, material civilization. For how many days will this earthly glitter remain? Why are we struggling to bring this up? Digambar, I see that I have fallen into the clutches of an unyielding renunciant. Then does society serve no function? Advaita, that depends upon the composition of a particular society. The function served by a society of Vaishnavas is highly beneficial for the jivas, but a society of non-Vaishnavas or a society that is merely secular serves no advantageous function for the jivas. For the jivas, what does secular mean? Or a society that is merely secular. I think it means like sort of robotic. I have to check this word. You can't give me. I'm talking to a Finnish person
Monday.
and a person from Croatia about the vocabulary of English.
Monday.
Huh?
Monday.
Mundane? Secular mundane? Okay, that fits. That is merely mundane, secular. Serves no advantageous function for the jivas. But enough of this topic. Tell me, what do you mean by material science? So we'll stop there. But material science is the pursuit of these acquirements, thinking that by material, thinking that we've got a remedy for every type of disease. We can even change your heart for you. We can put a pig's heart inside you. Pig's hearts are very strong. Why not take a pig's heart?
However, this material science that we're talking about, the internet, for example, connected all of us. Even now, this.
We are utilizing
Yeah.
this facility for our own advantage of spreading Vaishnavism. If this facility wasn't there, we still would be um, connecting and using our skills. What did I can remember in my life, you know, the first 55, 60 years of my life, there was not internet. Yes, he's an old man too. And I was very happily preaching to all the different people, speaking and hearing from all the Vaishnavas.
But if there was no internet, I would never find you.
Huh?
If there was no internet, I would never.
Somehow we would have arranged and everything would have been connected. But we can't depend on these things. At any moment, the demons can take down the internet in a second. It's their choice. They put them up there, they can pull them down. So if we become dependent on these man made things, but if we become dependent on Mahaprabhu's gifts of the holy name, dependent on the qualities of that we find within the Vaishnavas, if we take this focus, everything we'll be satisfied in the heart, that supersedity. We won't want anything. Does this internet satisfy the heart? It agitates the mind. It crunches, like I said, our time perception. Everything becomes sandwiched. We just have no time for the finer things of life, for relationships, for proper behavior. Everything is rushing. Oh, I'll just send you a text, send you, anyway, you know all these things. Interesting chapter. Fascinating chapter. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is completely right up with the times, totally in touch. He's got his finger on the pulse. He knows what is coming. So he's giving us, you know, it's in a different terminology, so to speak, but it's the same truth that's coming through. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Ananta Gauda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vol Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Rupanuga Gauravarga ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Vaishnavas ki jai, Ananta Gaura Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhabevach, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha.